Hey everybody, Yankee here. You know, I have decided that I should probably put my money where my mouth is and take my own advice when it comes to carry guns. You know, I've been telling everybody, you got to carry a 40, no 9mm, you got to carry a 40. And I have a 9mm gun in my carry rotation. My carry rotation is pretty much made up of my Glock 20 Gen 5 10mm, my Smith & Wesson 360 PD 357 Magnum, my Ruger 454 Casull Super Red Hawk Alaskan, and my Beretta Elite LTT from Langdon Tactical, which is a 9mm. And since I have pointed out in the past that only young girls and invalid elderly people actually carry 9mm, I need to make a change. And I do happen to have a couple of 96 Berettas that could take the place of my 9mm Beretta. The thing is, I need to change the sights on them and do some other minor things like change the grips. Now, luckily, this Elite 2 here is already decocker only, so I don't have to do any major changes like taking out the safety and putting in the conversion safety to make it a Type G. So that should keep me out of trouble with YouTube, but I do need to change the sights on it, so I'm going to do that tonight. Hopefully that won't get me in trouble with YouTube, although it has before, but we'll see this time. The reason I'm changing the sights is someone has painted this front sight and it looks really bad, and I just don't like those back sights at all. All right, first we're just going to get the slide off. Take out the barrel, the guide rod, etc. Now that we got that out of there, let's just tap out the old sights. I do have my little Wheeler sight pusher here just in case I end up needing it, but let's hope we can just do it with a hammer and a punch. Now the front sight should just tap out. No set screws or anything. There we go. That tapped right out. Now the back one has a little set screw right here that we have to remove before we tap it out. Now it should just tap out. All right, it's not wanting to come out easy, so I'm gonna go ahead and try my sight pusher. If that doesn't take it out easily, then I'm gonna think someone put some Loctite under here, so I'm going to go get my heat gun, heat it up a bit, and then we'll see how well it comes out of there. Yeah, that's pushing it out right there. Just twisting it right out. These little sight pushers can be nice. All right, the sights are out, and it was pretty easy actually. Now, one thing I will tell people though, if you're going to be changing the rear sight on a decocker only model, you're going to have to put the decocker into the decocked position and tape it into place to get your sight started because if it's fully up, it doesn't allow the sight to seat properly. So just keep that in mind. That little flat spot right there has to be pointed up while you're putting the sight in. All right, next, all we got to do now is put the new sights back on. This is a Wilson Combat Tritium front sight that I have a couple of sitting around that I bought back in the day when they were on sale. And this is a rear sight that I actually bought to put on my Samurai Edge replica because these are the sights that are movie specific. So I'm going to put that one on this because it's the only one I have that really fits it. And I'm going to put this one on there because this is the one I want to put on there. All right, now these sights might require a little bit of fitting. So I'm going to go over, put this in the vise, and then get started on getting these new sights on the slide. Okay, now that I've got it in the vise here, and just a little information here, when I said that you have to get this safety down and then maybe tape it in place or something, the way I do it is I push the decocker all the way down, put it in the vise, and then I allow the edge of the vise to hold it in place. That way I don't have to worry about it staying in place. But now that we've got it in the vise, got the decocker down, let's go about fitting those sights into the slots. Now the first thing you need to do is test for fitment. Make sure you're not putting it on backwards here. All right, it doesn't quite want to start in the slot. So I got a piece of 220 grit paper here. What I'm going to do is put the bottom of the sight on it and just rub it a little bit. You don't got to do a lot. A lot of times you just got to take off the tiniest little bit. That will reduce the edges a little bit. And then just keep doing that. And then don't put it in backwards. Just keep doing that until it actually starts into the slot. All right, there, it's already starting to go in there. So I'm just going to take a tiny little bit more off. Remember, take it off in the slightest amounts you can because you can never put it back. But that's how you really fit the sights. A lot of people will try filing the front and back of them. You really just file from the bottom most of the time, and that'll do it. Okay, I think I've got that enough to where if you can get it to where it's about halfway in, that's probably going to be sufficient. I'm going to give it just one more little back and forth here, and then wipe it off and put it back in there. And I think that's going to get that started. Yeah, that went in there, and it's about to the halfway point. Fits fine. Now let's try the front one, same thing. Doesn't quite want to start. Just give it a little bit more. All right, there it went in. It probably needs just a little more off of it. Gotta be real careful with the front sight because there's no set screw to tighten it down. So you gotta make sure you got the right amount of tension on it to begin with. Okay, they both are in about halfway. Now I'm going to try to tack them in further. And they're going right in there. First, let me finish the back sight. I'm going to put the brass tap right on the side of it here. Make sure it's not hitting anywhere it shouldn't be. It's not, so let's just keep putting it in. Okay, the back is completely in. Now I just need to make sure that the safeties still move, and they do, and it's perfectly centered. So let's move on to the other one here, the front one. Let's tap that one in. You want to get it centered. I think I got it a little bit too far the first direction, so let's tap it back a little. I think that's got it right there. So we take this out of here and put it all back together. All right, the sights are on there. Now I just got to put the whole gun back together, take it down to the range, sight it in, and then it's ready to carry. All right, now all I got to do is change the grips, like I said. All right, now all I got to do is change the grips, and then, like I said, we'll take her down and sight her in. I like to use hex head or star head screws on my grips because that way you don't got to worry about aligning the slots with the horizontal axis of the gun or up and down vertically. I'm going to use the stainless steel grip screws with this again. Don't really need the little rubber seals with these since I'm putting them into a G10 grip now instead of a wood grip. Wood grips need the little seals more so you don't crack the wood, but I'm going to use them anyway just so I don't lose them. Reminder, whenever you have your grips off your gun for any reason, go ahead and clean under them before you put them back on because a lot of stuff can gather up under there, liquids, solids, dust, everything can really cause some issues with wear. So just go ahead and wipe it down. Like I said, I am using the rubber grommets. You don't really have to a G10, but one thing you can run into if you don't use them, you put them into a G10 grip. If it's a thin grip, your magazine won't go in and fall free easily because the screws stick in a little too far and causes some friction. So it's best to use them. All right, there we have it. My new Beretta 96 Elite 2 with the new night sights on it. I've still got to clean it up, take off a little bit of the brass from where I punched it on there. But it's all together now, ready to go down and be sighted in. But there's a little update. I'm not actually going to go down and sight it in because in the 2 days it took me to do this video, I was just coming over and doing a few minutes here and a few minutes there. I got in touch with Custom Creations with a Z, the ones that did the slide on my actual Samurai Edge replica, and they are still doing it. So I will be sending them this slide to get it turned into a Samurai Edge. They will file it off. They will engrave the model Samurai Edge on one side and the stars logo on the other. And then they will coat it to where it's a blackened slide. So since they're going to be doing that, they're going to be taking the sights off for that and then putting them back on. I like to send it with the sights on so they take them off and put them back on so I don't have to worry about damaging that finish when I get it back. But since they're going to be doing that, there's no point in me really sighting it until I get it back. So won't be sighting it for right now, but this will be entering my carry rotation as the only 40 caliber in my carry rotation as soon as I get it back from Customized Creations, and I will definitely do a video showing you what it looks like after it's all done.